Hey guys, this is Ash, and you're watching WriterGAsh. Happy New Year to everyone, and I am just so glad 2020 is over. And the New Year happens to be my favorite day of the year. It's my favorite holiday, and I am just so excited that it is the 1st of January, and we're finally done with the wreck that was 2020. And in honor of that, I wanted to film a video on some of the books that are coming out this year that I'm super excited about, and just some of the books I'm planning on reading this coming year that came out maybe before last year or so that I've just been wanting to catch up with because last year wasn't my best reading year. So, without further ado, let's get right on to that. I'm, of course, looking forward to everything by Sarah J. Maas and Cassandra Clare. If you've seen anything on my channel, you know that. We'll just start off right away with that. So Cassandra Clare has the Black Volume of the Dead coming out this year, or at least that's what it says on Goodreads. Expected 2021, and I'm really hoping this is coming out this year because I am dying for some content on Raph and Max because this is set after the Dark Artifices. So Malik have both their kids, and I just love them being dads because that's just adorable. And I'm excited to read about that. And I love the New York group, and I'm just I love reading about them. So I'm happy that we potentially have a book coming out with them in it. Another book by Cassandra Clare I'm really looking forward to is Chain of Fire, in the second book in the Lost Hours series. And I got this book, the Waterstone edition of this book, and I am really excited for it to come out and for me to read it because Cassandra Clare is a great writer, and I loved Chain of Gold, and I'm just excited for this. I'm gonna reread Chain of Gold again before this book, so I can start this right off after reading Chain of Gold. Now moving on, Sarah J. Maas also has a few books coming out this year. Starting off with Crescent City, it's supposed to be coming out November 2nd. It doesn't have a title yet. It's the second book in the series, and I just recently read the first one, and I loved it, and I'm excited for the second. I want to see how the journey continues and how Sarah J. Maas puts her regular twists and turns into this book, and it's just gonna be a fun read, I'm sure. And then another one that's closer to us is A Court of Silver Flames. My one complaint about this book, I freaking wish there was an and or an in or something in the middle. Because all the other books in the Aquatar series, you can form an acronym like that. With the Court of Silver Flames, it's not really possible. What is it gonna be? ACO SF? I just wish there was a conjunction word in the middle, so it could be a acronym that would just flow out of. And yeah, but that's coming out on February 15th, and I'm hoping to grab one of the Ilium crate boxes because that's supposed to come with a hardcover, and all the books that are out till now, they're gonna have alternate dust jackets for them, which I'm super excited about. I'm hoping to grab those if they have it in stock by the time I buy it, because it's supposed to be a limited edition kind of a thing, and I know it's a dumb spend, but I can't control myself. Another thing I saw on Goodreads while I was making this video was an Akatar 3.2 coming out. But the thing is, when I looked into it, it says Akatar 3.2 coming out April 1st. I am not sure if it's a joke from someone from Goodreads who's trying to do put an early April Fools. But when I looked it up on Reddit and everywhere, no one's yelling April Fools yet. So maybe we potentially have a novella as well. But I'm gonna take that with a grain of salt because April 1st is April Fool's Day, everyone. So it is probably just a joke they're playing on us. Anyway, so those are the books that I'm really looking forward to that are coming out in 2021. Oh, also, I'm really looking forward to Actor Age Eve Brown, which is coming out March 9th. And I just really got into this series this year. It's a contemporary romance series, and I love contemporaries, especially with older characters. I love reading about characters more my age or younger still, but sometimes reading about characters who are older and more mature is just a breath of fresh air, and I'm looking forward to this one. Eve is supposed to be a little younger than her sisters and a little bit more immature. But it's an adult romance, which is always a fun read for me. And my last year was basically adult romances rather than fantasies. I do hope to get into more fantasies this year, which brings me to all the books on my list for this coming year. I am hoping to read the Blood and Ash series, which is supposed to have a third book coming out this year. I did get the first and second books on the ebooks for both, and I haven't started them yet, but I am hoping to read them soon. It seems like a really interesting high fantasy book, and I've definitely been spoiled about a lot of the things that happens, but I don't really care about spoilers, so I don't mind. And it seems like it's going to be an interesting read, so I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. And then another book I'm hoping to read is The Shadows Between Us, and also another fantasy book that seems super interesting. And then there is also The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I have heard so many things about this book, and I thought about starting it last year, but like last year, like 2 days ago. But I decided why not save it for the new year, so I have great reads for the new year. And I just love the plot. Like she made a bargain with the devil or whatever. I think it was the devil. So she like lives forever basically, and but everyone forgets about her, and that's super interesting, you know. And that's something I'm really looking forward to. And then there's also These Violin Delights, which I have started reading. I'm at chapter 4. It's really interesting. The idea of Romeo and Juliet, but gangster edition seems interesting. And it's also set in Shanghai, where I have, well, other than the Lost Book of White, I've never read a book set in Shanghai, so it's going to be super interesting. And just the gangster concept of it's just intriguing. The only thing though about this book that I am not sure about is the Romeo and Juliet part, because Romeo and Juliet isn't a romance. It's a tragedy. It's literally a tragedy, and I don't know if I want to be reading a tragedy, if you know what I mean. But like it's a series, and the first book is the only one that's out right now. I think the second one comes out this year. I'm not sure entirely, but I'm hoping that's the thing they changed, that it's not that both of them end up committing suicide. I don't I think that would be far too predictable, because that's how Romeo and Juliet goes. The whole point of retelling is to change how the story is. So I'm hoping that the author does a great job with that. But the storyline was really intriguing so far, and even though I'm only in on the fourth chapter, it just is a really good read, I can already tell. And then another book series that I'm hoping to read this year is the Ember in the Ashes series. This one came out a long time ago. I've been hearing about it for years now, but I never picked it up. And I learned more about it this last few weeks on TikTok, basically. And I absolutely have to read it now. It's definitely on my TBR for the year. And then finally, I'm also hoping to read The Ninth House, the part of the Alex Stern series by Lee Bardugo. I'm pretty sure Lee Bardugo is an amazing author, so I'm really hoping that I get to that one as well this year. I am contemplating reading Shadow and Bone, but from what I've heard about Mal, I don't know if I want to read it. He sounds like a jackass. And I have been spoiled about this series, so spoiler alert. So I know that Alina ends up with Mal, and the idea of the protagonist ending up with a jackass, I don't like that. No. Anyway, spoiler ending. If you guys think I should still read it anyway, despite that, let me know, because I don't want to miss out on a great book because of just that. But if it's something that's like overwhelming in the book, I don't want to read it. So, yeah. So that's it for the books I am looking forward to for 2021. and I'm hoping to have a great reading year. My goal is to read 50 books, and you probably won't see it on New Year's Day, but Happy New Year anyway.